into practice. All right, so we want to share our experiences while I connect to my system so I could share today's slide with us. So we want to share our experiences after global logistics and then inventory. We want to hear, did anybody learn a new thing, and did anybody also put to use what he or she learned on that day? Do we have people on the call? No one is talking.
Yeah, good evening.
Tazan,
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. I'm on my way coming from work. So, yeah, good evening, ma. So there is a noise. I'm in a noisy area, so I'll join you later.
Oh, you say you will join later?
No, I'm in a noisy area, so I will soon get down. I'm inside the public bus.
Okay. So some of that person can just talk. We are starting the class already. We just need feedback from our previous class. Of course, today is continuation so that we'll be able to know if you're actually following or we know where to start from. I can see 11 participants already, and I would really solicit for full participation today because I felt inadequate in our last class. All right, because people were not ready to talk. So today I would really want everyone to participate. All right, I'm not talking to, or we're not having a gathering of people in primary schools or thereabout. We have people, that are professionals that already, taking their spaces when it comes to logistic management. All right. I have 12 participants. Please, can I have people talk to me?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. In our previous lecture, we discussed about the advantage and disadvantage of logistics. How can we improve our organization in terms of logistic management? Yeah, we talk about when we are to deliver a particular goods to our clients. That before we can say that logistic management is work perfect, it is until when the goods get to the end users, that is when we can say that yes, our job is done. And then secondly, we discuss about how we can satisfy our customers. How we can satisfy our customers. And then we talk about the categories and so on and so forth. In terms of how can we use that the acronym ABC to describe the logistics. And then we talk about when we have goods from the customer. That's what we have, what happened, of which they give us this Julia is an example of when the client the end of the day, what we got is not we talk about Masha.
All right. Are you? Yeah, I guess you are actually on the road, and the background noise is actually distracting. Okay, so I've heard what you've said, and I think it's the same thing you said when we had the class last week. You spoke at the end of the class and all that. So I'm very sure about your experience, and I want to believe that you are also putting into practice, and it's also helping you to grow in your position as a logistic manager. So thank you so much. Let me also hear from one other person before we go into today's topic. Let's hear from Shalom Holen. Shalom Holen. MBJ Management, please, your attention, please. Is the management on this call?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. We are with you, ma.
All right. The aspect that I'm not getting feedback from the wasting time today, we are having material management, as you've seen, material management when it comes to logistics. Okay, logistic management, and in logistics, you cannot, do away with materials. All right. So today we are having material management. So I don't know. I don't know. I always want to ask. Does anybody know or can explain to us what material management is all about? Or has anyone heard about this before? Just an experience, so that we'll go from there. I don't mind, even if I have just a person talking throughout, I'll be okay. All right. So let's just have someone talk to us, please. Any idea of material management? Please, if you want to talk, unmute and talk. Okay, no one is talking. So let's just go. So we are looking at material management today, and we are looking at the types of material management. All right. We see material management as the management of, you can see, I hope you are seeing my screen. You can see the diagram on, yes, you can see what material management is all about. When you talk of materials, of course, a layman understanding, it talks about the tools, everything you have, all the deliverables that you have in place, for production, for logistics, and for management. Here you can see this, that when we talk of material management, you see that it's starting from, see where it goes. It's starting from the estimation, the quotation, the contracting, the inspection, the delivery, the procurement. So it goes round everywhere. It goes round. It's a circle, So it must, this component must meet this one, and it goes round. You see, from procurement, you need to talk about, you need to consider the materials you are using, the quality, the standard. So, and you also have to avoid wastage. Of course, we talked in our last class, we talked about the financial implication of logistic management when it comes to logistics management, and all that. You need to put everything into consideration, and so that you don't run at a loss All right. So you are considering the materials used from procurement to delivery to inspection, and you can see where the arrow is going. If this one comes and meet this one and goes round before you can actually say, yes, the materials were actually, managed well. So that's what we are looking at today. Starting from your quotation, you have to quote, your quotation must have the items that you are actually in need of. There's nothing like, okay, I think we should need, okay, like you need like the raw materials that you are, getting. So instead of you need like maybe 20 pieces of the raw material that you want to use for production, and you just assume, okay, let's just get more, and you carry more than what it was estimated. All right. And you bring it, and even in the usage, you have a lot of waste and all that, even waste that you cannot recycle. But for this cycle to complete, you should be able that even if you have waste in your materials or while in production, you should be able to recycle those materials too. So we are looking at what are the types of material management. We are looking at material requirements planning. Listen, material requirements planning. So this is an important step in material management, which directly affects profits. I have just explained that. As the lower the amount of material used, the lower the cost of production, the more profit. All right. Take for example, you want to produce. Let's take an holistic example. You want to bake bread, maybe 5 loaves of bread. All right. The flours and the other ingredients that you're using, mixing together to make the bread, and you see, for some of us that have experience of bakery, or maybe you've seen where baking is done, and you see that after you mold, maybe there's a molder, there's a mold, something that will give you the shape of that particular bread, and then you have some that are being cut out just for you to have that particular shape. All right. You should be able to use the other one that you cut out, mix again, and it gives you. So this is self-explanatory. The lower, please, can you mute? Please, everybody should be muted, please. And then so the material that you use has to be the lower amount, and then the cost of production should also be considered for you to have more profit. Because if you are wasting the materials, definitely it will eat into the profit that you are supposed to make. So reducing materials overspend has caused some industries to consider just-in-time strategies. I believe that this JIT should take you back to what we explained, JIT to be when we were talking about inventory, just-in-time strategies. We use a typical example of Domino Pizza, if we can recall, in our last class, as an example of a company or a brand that uses just-in-time strategies for their inventory. If you remember that we said that. Why is that important? Because we've seen that, of course, someone answered in the class that the reason Domino Pizza is using just-in-time strategies when it comes to inventory is because of the goods that are being produced, which is perishable goods. So, and you cannot really go into production of pizza just because yesterday you sold like 5,000 pieces of maybe the last sizes of pizza, and today you decide to do maybe 10,000. All right, you would have factors that are coming in that maybe would stop your customers or your users or consumers from coming in to actually get the 10,000 pieces of pizza that you produce. So just-in-time strategies comes in here. Remember, in production or in baking or however of pizza, you have so many ingredients, so many the cost implication of producing
one large size of pizza, it's much. So using this just-in-time strategy would save you that wastage, and in turn would deliver profit, to the company. So just-in-time strategies that require very small levels of inventory. And we're saying, however, that this still requires careful planning to maintain without impacting production schedules. You still have to be careful in planning, all right? Because if you put in so much of materials in use and those goods are not sold out, or maybe in terms of logistic or delivery, you don't have it, definitely you have spoiled goods, all right? And that will lead to wastage, will lead to loss. Are we following? So, and we are looking at purchasing too. Remember, the first one we took is material requirement planning. This is where you plan your materials, the amount you're going to use, your production cost, and everything. It's where this is the stage that you put that into consideration. Remember, we are talking about material management, how you manage your material. So with the second one is purchasing. So purchasing should be done and on time. Purchasing should be done economically and on time to maintain, all right, and increase financial and increase final profit by lowering expenses. This is self-explanatory. Now, even if, take for example, a personal purchase, or you want to buy something, all right, you have to look at the cost implication of what you want to get, even at individual level. You don't just because, oh, you have the money at hand, oh, you just want to buy close substitute of food items that maybe when you come and you will not have light to preserve them, and all of them can just get spoiled at the same time. So the same thing here when it comes to company or organization. Remember, the materials we are talking about, it's applicable to manufacturing companies, it's applicable to organizations that are actually using maybe the byproduct of what is manufactured and all that. So purchasing should be done economically and on time. You don't go and pack perishable goods or raw materials to come and keep them. All right. You don't have to stock your inventory. Let me go professional way. You don't have to stock your inventory. Just stock them, produce them, and just put them, or the raw materials you're using to produce, just stock, oh, because you have the mode, let's just do it. No, you have to be economical about that and on time. Now, on time is these raw materials or these, raw material that you are getting down, that you are stocking. Are you going to use them immediately? How long are you going to use them? Would they stand the test of time? Is it something that within maybe the next 2 days gets spoiled? Or is it something that can be stored for the next 1 month? So you need to look at this economically and on time to maintain material supplies so that you don't also run out of supplies. All right? You don't also run out of supply. That is where planning, the first step we talked about, comes in. You need to plan it so that you don't also overstock, all right? And you don't also run out of supplies. And so that it will increase the final profit by lowering expenses, all right? The final profit is as important as lowering also the expenses. So this has to be considered. And we look at the third one, inventory control. This is what we took in our last class, and I just touched this, So an inventory can include a range of goods being held, including partially finished goods, which we took time to, to explain in our last class, goods ready for sale, and those used in production. Those are your inventory. So many industries try to, time purchasing so that materials enter stores just ahead of production. I have said this before we even came to this slide. Although there's also a need to gauge suppliers' levels so items can be stocked before they become unavailable. Now, the items that can be stocked before that can be stocked, that you can stock up, are those ones that will not easily get spoiled. So you need to plan, know your supplies that when they stay longer will get spoiled, or the one that can stay longer. So inventories are required to control the flow of raw materials, purchase goods, and finished parts and components. Inventories are required to control the flow of materials. Inventory, we said inventories are your valuable, goods, the things that you like just explained here, the partially finished goods, the goods that are ready for sale, and those used in production, those are your inventories, and are required to control the flow of raw materials. You need to check your store. You need to know which one to have and which one not to have at the moment. All right. So we'll be able to manage your materials very well. And we also look at material supply management. Supply chain management can require materials to be distributed to different sites or production centers. All right. So each of which needs to be continuously supplied, because what? Lack of stock can lead to financial losses through having to source replacement production materials or having to halt production schedules. We know this. We know this very well. Maybe we've experienced where we've had our experiences where you want to get a particular product and we are told, oh, we are running out of stock. All right. So in production, you need these materials. All right. So because lack of stock will automatically make you lose some money at the time that you're supposed to, you're supposed to make money. You will halt production schedules. Remember that people, your consumers or your customers, your clients cannot always wait for you. They will always look for substitutes. They will always look for alternatives. So poor storage can also lead to material supply disruption. You don't store your supply, your materials well. Remember we talked about the store where you arrange your products or arrange your goods as order of importance. Some stores, you get to some stores where you have goods that are supposed to be seen. Maybe the proper inventory was not, taken. And then you still have some products, some raw materials there for production. But because it's not easily accessible, you can't see it at a glance. You just assume, oh, there's no such, raw material. And then there's disruption. So poor storage can also lead to material supply disruption. You don't store them at where you can see at a glance, or maybe your poor inventory, management can also affect this, because you won't know what materials you have on ground and what materials you need to replace or you need to, purchase or reorder. So material management teams should be able to mitigate against these situations by using alternative supply system. So we look at, what do material managers do? Planning, organizing, directing, controlling, which is basically the roles and responsibilities of any manager. So in this regard, we are talking about managing materials. So you need to plan your materials, you need to organize them, you need to direct them, proper use, and you need to control the usage, the coming in and the going out. So that's what material managers do. You plan your inventory, you organize it, you direct, and you control. All right. Remember, materials is it's also your inventory. That was why I was asking before we started this class, because I told us that definitely what we had in our last class, we'll see it here. So if you did not in the last class, you might be missing, out from here. So your material is an inventory. All right. So What do material managers do? We've also said that the overriding aim of material managers is to maintain a consistent flow of materials for production. As simple as that. Consistent flow of materials for production. This seemingly straightforward task has a range of potential difficulties to overcome, including incorrect bills of materials, inaccurate stock taking, shipping and receiving errors, unreported scrap, and production reporting errors. All right. So even when you are to maintain a consistent flow of materials for production, you also have to take into consideration, the correct bills of materials. You also have to, take into consideration accurate stock taking and shipping and receiving, and minimizing those errors. All right. You also need to report scrap. You also be able to report production issues on time. So planning, organizing, and controlling the flow of materials means it is possible to manage purchasing and shipping to coincide with the manufacturing process and the final delivery of products. Or, of course, if you plan your material well, if you organize it well, if you control it, if you're on top of it, all right, you will be able to deliver your product on time. You'll be able to produce even your goods on time. So while material managers oversee the inventory management needs of a company, the actual procurement of materials may be undertaken by a separate, purchasing team that we know. So in what we are saying here, that the procurement of materials is not necessarily the role or a responsibility of a material management, but it is intertwined, because you would have given your report on the materials that you have to enable the procurement department to do their job. So if you do not communicate well, this is where communication comes in. If you do not communicate well, if you do not give your accurate report, if you do not keep your accurate stock, if you do not give correct bills of materials, it will also affect the procurement, department when they want to purchase the raw materials. I hope we are following. Please, at this point, I need
following.
Yes, we are following.
Yes,
Okay.
we are following.
All right. So, key aspect of material management. What are the key things we need to look at when it comes to material management? We have to look at the crucial role to play in achieving growth and success. So material management ensures that the right amount of materials is available when required. So these are the key aspects of material management. All right. When you talk of material management, it is when you record growth and success. Growth and success. Well, how do you record this growth and success? It is by ensuring the right amount of materials, that is available when it is required. So as a material manager, if you're in an organization, you are in a company, and each time they need raw materials for production, they're always running helter-skelter. You have already failed as a material manager. You failed. So your job is to ensure that the right amount of materials or materials are available when it is needed. So material management makes sure that there is no overstocking or understocking of goods. I've said this before we got here. If you are successful in managing your material, you shouldn't have any overstocking issue or understocking issues. You shouldn't. It improves customer satisfaction by guaranteeing that the correct orders are delivered on the scheduled time. Material planning, procurement, inventory control, and distribution are some of the keys or the key components of material management. We've said that before. Material planning, procurement, inventory, inventory control and distribution are some of the key components of material management. All right. So you need to plan your materials. Like we said in the previous slide, that is not procurement is not necessarily the responsibility of a material manager, but it is your planning, it is your controlling of the inventory, and it is your accurate stock keeping. It is your accurate report that will give the procurement the right the right answer to whatever problem they have. So we look at techniques of material management. We look at MRP, materials requirements planning. So the role of MRP in material planning is already mentioned. We've mentioned that above. To elaborate further, MRP helps in accurate resource allocation. All right. So if the business lacks this planning, it will lead to risks related to supply chain management, including production. Even the output and many other operations would be affected. So in simpler terms, we look at that please a minute. So it will lead to risks related to supply chain management. We've said that the production. So in simpler terms, MRP helps in project planning, all right, scheduling and inventory planning. As a result, the managers can oversee, the managers can, I've said this before, the managers can see everything that you are about to do, all right? You can see what you are about to do. It is you keeping, it is you keeping all this in check that you'll be able to, you'll be able to give the report that the other departments will need. All right. So as a result, the managers can oversee the correct amount of materials required for the operations. That's what it means. Everybody is at the top of their game. Everybody is working hand in hand. Every department is working at lockstep. All right. You are communicating to the procurement, the purchasing department. You are looking at the production. You are looking at the stock. The inventory. Everything is working. So material management planning is very, very crucial. All right, when it comes to logistic management. So we are still looking at the techniques of material management. We are looking at enterprise resource planning software. We know this, ERP. So going back to the origin of the ERP system, we understand that ERP is the updated version of MRP. So it is an advanced system to efficiently manage the business operations. All right. Plus, it accurately helps with resource allocation, inventory planning, supply chain operations. It helps to administer production and other resources by providing the required, tools. So we look at maximizing inventory. So the objective of material management, why material management? What's the objective? If you are managing materials well, what do you stand to gain? We see it in maximizing inventory velocity for efficiency. What's the velocity? It's simply the speed. So if inventory levels are low compared to sales, it means that less money is tied up in inventory. So this will help in achieving business efficiency. So the result is that the capital invested in the company is availed efficiently, is used efficiently. If you are matching up, remember I talked about the lockstep. Everybody is working. The production, the purchasing, the raw material, everything is in place. Your inventory level is there. So it will make everything efficient. The turnover will be high when the inventory carrying costs are reduced. That's just what we are saying. So cost effective, it monitors the purchases and shipping of materials at affordable cost. This will in turn reduce the overall cost of operations. So that's what it does. It reduces the overall cost of operation. So if you are asked, why material management? You can easily say that it reduces the overall cost of operations. That's just what we are talking about. And then we see uninterrupted flow of materials. We've said that already. So if there is a shortage during the manufacturing process, the cost of production will shoot up. So for fully automated processes, continuous supply of material is significant. And in processes such as this, the costs are fixed. So the costs are incurred even if the production stops due to insufficient materials. So even if the production, even if in processes such as this, the costs are fixed. Now, if there is a shortage during the manufacturing processes, the cost of production will shoot up. We understand that. So for fully automated processes, continuous supply of materials is significant here, so that we do not have, shortage in production processes, so that the cost too will not shoot up. That's just the simply explanation. So reliable quality assurance. So if the quality is maintained during the entire production process, this will help in retaining the customers. This is where there's nothing like minimizing. So that we'll be able to have enough sugar to go around the loaves of bread, where the number of loaves of bread we will need to produce, all right, to bake. Okay, let's just reduce. Maybe your target customers, or consumers or users are those people that like sugar in their bread. All right. And then you've been giving them this, they know the taste. Of course, we know, we all experience this. Like maybe you like, oh, this taste tastes different from what, and you wouldn't know that they were trying to minimize, some ingredients while producing, because they run out of it. They run out of some raw materials used in baking the bread. And as such, you just say, oh, we have people that, we have so many suppliers that have sent in their orders and we need to give it to them. Okay, how many bags of sugar do we have? So I just have bags. And you now want to reduce it. And your customers will know, all right? The quality will speak out. Whether you are able to maintain it, whether it's what they are used to, or whether it's different. And if you can maintain this, if you can keep this, if you can make your quality reliable, you are sure of retaining your customers. All right. So we are still on objectives of material management. And we look at characteristics of material management. We look at number one characteristic is the functions of industrial management. Material management is an important function of industrial management. It is difficult to anticipate smooth functioning of industrial management without proper arrangement for raw materials, components, and supplies. We said this. Specific process of management. Material management is one of the important processes of managing. So direction and control are undertaken for the proper use of materials. If you are following, there's no aspect of this topic that we will not see the process of planning, organizing, direction, controlling, and others. So it's simply, in a nutshell, even if you don't have, maybe somebody is coming to really take you like this, you should know at a glance, even if you are sleeping and they wake you up and you are asked about material management, you should know that it's just the simple process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the resources that is needed for production. All right. So we look at integrated approach. Material management is an integrated system. Why do we say it's integrated system? It is not physical. It is all human. Because all human is social and cultural. It involves producers. It involves consumers. It involves suppliers. It involves technologies and the government. All right? So we say it is an integrated system. And it is human, it is social, it is cultural. It involves producers. Who are the producers? Are the producers not human? Are the consumers not human? Are the suppliers not human? The technologies, are they not human? The governments, are they not human that are giving policies, that are actually, spelling out the policies? So it is all an integrated approach.
Ma, how is it cultural?
How is it cultural? It's cultural in the sense that you have we are in Lagos, let me say so. We are maybe in Nigeria. We are in Nigeria and we have people on the diaspora. Now, the cultural is, of course, when you talk of culture, you know that culture is the way of life of the people in a particular location, right? Are you following?
I'm following.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
It's a way of life. It's a belief system and everything for a particular people. Now you would see, I use braids as an example when I was talking about minimizing, that if you don't use your materials well, or if you don't plan well, that you run short of your raw materials, and then you have, like I specifically use braid when it comes to sugar. There are people that like sugar in their bread. There are people that like maybe they like low sugar, right? That is why when you get to some bakeries or people that bake bread, you see that you have low sugar, you have wheat, you have this, you have that. Now the cultural place there, you have group of people that will go for that sweet sugar, all right? Which you talk about the children, you talk about the youth, all right? How do they behave? That's the way, the way of life. That's what they like. Are we following? And you have the elderly that will say, I don't need sugar bread, I need wheat. I hope you are following.
Yes.
So you have to, in your material management, you have to integrate all this. The way of life, what people like to consume, what people like to consume. What state of people, what group of people like to consume a particular thing has to be integrated. You can't just assume that, bread, we know there must be sugar in bread, and then you now put sugar. You consider that we have people that do not eat sugar, people that eat too much of sugar, which I've said the age bracket. A child can consume sugar because their activities, they will burn out, but an adult can't do that. So that's where the culture comes in. And then you talk about the social aspect. All right. What goods are you producing? Your packaging, your everything should be considered. There are some items you get to the store, they look attractive. Are we following?
Yes.
I don't know if I've been able to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been able to. Okay. So we now understand the human, the social, and the cultural, right?
Yes.
So I can go on. All right. So it involves producers, consumers, supply, technology, and the government, like I said. So we talk about the wide process. So according to PR Gokhan, material management covers the whole range of functions involves in converting raw materials and auxiliary supplies into finished goods. We know that. And in its field, purchasing, materials handling, warehousing, external and internal transportation, management and control of inventories are included. So, and I'm expecting someone to ask, why material handling, how is warehousing coming in here when it comes to material management? I'm expecting that question. Since nobody asked, I will ask someone.
But I feel the warehousing is there because you have to still store the materials. storage is necessary and you store it in the warehouse.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, so we can move on now. So we look at need and importance of material management. We talk of center of performance. There are several centers of performance in our organization. Materials activity is one of them. So in manufacturing concern, it is a perfect profit center. Efficient utilization of material can lead to huge profit in the firm. We've said that before. All right. Why is material management important? If you manage your materials well, it will lead to a huge profit in the firm. Where we look at corporate growth. So supply function has always been an essential part of business activities, and it forms the very basis of corporate growth and the country's progress. So it is a key area of earning profit through efficient controls of materials. So we look at offer opportunity for profit improvement. So in most business operations today, the cost of material is the last remaining cost that is truly variable. All other major costs are either fixed or tend to semi-fixed. Can someone explain that to us? That in most business operations today, the cost of material is the last remaining cost that is truly variable. Can someone explain that to us? Or does anybody understand that?
I think these materials are variable assets, so their costs are variable now. It changes.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, what you're trying to say is that the cost of the materials, that their price is not stable. At times they used to change.
Okay.
They used to change. Yeah.
I
All
was
right.
saying because they are variable assets. The materials are variable assets.
We know they are variable assets, but how does it relate to material management? Remember, we are saying that offer opportunities for profit improvement. Okay, so it's simply that if you are not able to really keep the cost of your materials and to really control it, to really control it, and at every process, you determine the cost of your materials before your production, you can simply run out of it. All right, because they are not fixed. The costs are not actually fixed. You can go for your raw material. Maybe a bag of flour today can be, I don't know how much, but let's just use any amount. Maybe the bag of flour today is maybe 10,000 naira a bag. And then you use that to do production and all that. And then going tomorrow, you will see that either it goes up or it comes down. All right. So planning that will also make you to stay afloat so that you do not, okay, so take for example, you see people that go, especially in today's Nigerian economy, that maybe you go to market and buy some stuff, you are a retailer for sale, and you buy those things that maybe at a particular cost, you are coming to sell, and going back to the market, you definitely see that the money you even make, including the profit and everything, or your last sale, cannot even buy you that same goods or those same products. So that's what that talks about. But if you are able to plan and control communication, you talk with all departments, your suppliers and everything, you'll be able to really improve on your profit. So that's what we are saying. Hence, a reduction in the cost of materials per se clearly offers an unusual opportunity, for profit improvement. So we talk of basis of manufacturing function, as in the case of trading concerns. Handling of cash is of utmost importance. Similarly, the efficient handling of materials is of vital significance in the manufacturing business. So we look at functions and scope of material management. The functions. We've seen this. We are going to run through this because we've talked about this, you know, while we are talking and all that. So we'll look at material planning. So this is where the decision in advance for the requirement of raw materials is necessary. You are looking at, oh, you are dealing with parts and components and spare parts. You plan. All right. So you decide in advance which one are you getting, all right, as directed by the production program. So the basis of material planning is generally a production plan based on demand forecast. For finished goods, I have said this, say before we even got to this slide, I have said this, even I think at the beginning of this class, I've said that you need to look at what is needed. You have to look at the future demand of what you're producing. All right. So the material planning is generally a production plan based on demand forecast for finished goods. You don't just bring your raw materials and stock them and do this. Are they this by the time you produce or you have this product on ground, will you have demand for it? So requirements of various items of materials are decided by exploring a master production schedule for planning period. I hope we understand that. You look at how it's been, exploding a master production schedule for a planning period. Look at your production plan, your scheduling. Look at the demand. Look at this point, you need to look at the seasons, like we talk about the cultural, the social, the government, the policies, everything bring in together to know that if you have these goods produced, if demands will be there. So demand forecasting is very, important there. We look at the purchasing and procurement. So the purchasing functions of material management is concerned with the procurement of proper equipment, proper materials, proper supplies of the right quantities at the right time. All right. So but we're looking at in view of the complex nature of the manufacturing activities today, purchasing has become a specialized function. What do we mean? So in large concern, major activities consist of ordering materials upon requisition. Take note of this by the users. That is why you have some companies that when you send in your requisition, they will give you time frame when your product or your good will be ready to enable them to source for or to also request or order for the materials that's going to be used for production, so that you don't end up having overstocking or understocking or wastage. All right. So checking receipts of the material, maintaining files and records of orders and price movements. Very important. And then we look at the problems in material management. Even as you're managing materials, you have problems. Why? And what are the problems? So problems with regards to material planning, all the businesses and the industrial houses have to make plans regarding raw materials well in advance so as to avoid 11th hour arrangements and adjustment. However, some important factors or forces disturb planning of industrial, houses. And we look at problems with regard to design and specification. We know this. So requirement of consumer, availability of raw material, and capacity of supplies are the guiding factors to a designer. But the following three additional factors are gaining importance: tolerance and precise workmanship, ambiguity in drawing, buyers, inadequate specification to suppliers. Very, very, these are the problems that we are seeing. Buyers,
No,
inadequate specification. Okay.
can you explain this tolerance and precise workmanship? What is it talking about? Why is it a problem?
Okay. Requirement of consumer, availability of raw materials, and capacity of suppliers are the guiding factors to a designer. But the following three additional factors are gaining importance: tolerance. All right. tolerance and precise workmanship. We are looking at tolerance as you are producing or you are making this, okay, fine, let me use manufacture. You are manufacturing this product or this good for people, all right, that have been using this, maybe they've been purchasing, they've been consuming this for a long time. And as time goes on, system changes, policies comes in, all right? System changes. Somebody that was able to maybe, like I said, I don't know why I'm using that break. Permit me. I'm using that break today. Tolerance in the sense that now we've seen you've always been producing bread with sugars or maybe enough sugar or thereabouts. And before you know it, maybe your consumer tolerance, I'm talking about the system now, is not okay. The ability for your consumer to still consume that particular product, I'm using bread in this regard, has dropped. When you talk of tolerance, we are looking at the body now is no more consuming sugar. And because you did not plan, we did not consider all this. Remember, we will talk about the cultural, the social, and the life. And then you are taking it into circulation. And they are not able to consume again. That means the system is not tolerating again. The policy is not welcoming it again. All right? A lot of things coming into place. Of course, with the word itself, tolerance, tolerance, they are not getting it again. Let me just use it in layman language. They are not getting it again. You are not eating it again. You are not consuming this again. It becomes a problem when it comes to material management if it wasn't communicated. All right. And we talk about the precise workmanship. Precise workmanship is as a result of the human resources that we are having. The human resources that you are having. How are they able to follow the precise shape, the precise standard, the precise quality, everything precise, the precise quantity, and all that. Exactly what you want. So the precise workmanship is very important. Like in the production of bread, I'm using bread because we are used to this. It's something that almost everybody consumes in Nigeria and all that. You are looking at, I don't know if anyone has got to a place, maybe you know that, oh, they just have this particular, that, okay, for a gram, maybe this bread is maybe 450 gram, and it has reduced to 350 gram because of cost and all that, and it wasn't communicated. It will become a problem. It will become a problem because consumers will not want to patronize you again. And you've already made production of this goods. You will take it back. If it is perishable goods like bread, will you take it back to production? Will you be able to recycle it? You will not be able to recycle it, and it becomes a problem when it comes to material management. So the consumers, the users, your clients must have tolerance, for the products or for the goods that you give to them. And the people that are working must also be able to keep the precise standard quality of what is given out. And when this is not done, it becomes a problem. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
Am I on the right track? Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just saying yes. Please, if you have any doubts, we are in the class. Let's trash it. Are you okay with the explanation when it comes to tolerance and precise workmanship?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
You are the only one. Are others also okay with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so we can move on now. We talk about ambiguity in drawings. When it comes to, of course, when it comes to drawings, that's to do with maybe architectural building and all that. When you are you are drawing so many things and I don't understand this. What is this and this? Okay, please, can you condemn this? I don't, that one is self-explanatory, ambiguity in drawing. And we talk about buyers' inadequate specification to suppliers. Tomorrow, you say, I need this. Give me this one that is like this. Give me tomorrow, next tomorrow, you are saying this. Inadequate. You don't give your specification enough. You've seen people will order for goods, they will bring it, but this is not exactly what I wanted. And they will return it. And it becomes a problem when it comes to material management. All right. So we move on. We still have a long way to go today. So I'm just taking my time, and I will increase speed at some point so that we'll be able to cover this. Remember, we've not even entered, we have to almost 3 topics today to trash. And then we look at still problems in regards to procurement of materials. We see the lead time. What do we mean by the lead time? So any industrial unit in India, it takes sufficient time in determining the requirements, making choice of suppliers, and placing orders. But once orders are placed, the industrial unit do not want to allow sufficient time to its suppliers, and they want to get the material at their doorstep as quickly as possible. All right. So if you have given your your order, your requisition for procurement of materials, and they do it, and immediately those things are produced and order, they want to give it to you. All right. They want to give it. So there's no time for you to say, okay, I want to return, I want to do this. It's been sent out, So that becomes a problem when it comes to procurement of material. And we look at that this attitude of purchasing industrial unit poses a problem of insufficient lead time with the suppliers. All right. So the suppliers will send the material within the stipulated lead time. So in such a case, quality supply is not ensured. I just need this thing tomorrow, okay. And the manufacturer are ready on it. Oh, we are on it. And you are saying, I need it tomorrow. And it sends because you need tomorrow. And some company, they will tell you, oh, please, for this particular supply or this particular raw material or this part, this spare part, it takes us a month to actually, produce this or manufacture this. So, and you're like, no, I can't wait. I need it just next week. And they have to honor your time. And at that point, if there's any problem, there's nothing you can do. So this makes the production of inferior quality. We know that. So in our country, this problem is faced by almost all the industrial houses. Almost. So it is suggested that sufficient time should be given to the suppliers so that they can manage proper material as per the demand for purchasing industrial units. So we look at staff problem. So procuring materials is not a very easy job since a lot of formalities and specific procedures are to be followed before receiving required materials. So complicated formalities, rigid procedure, cumbersome government requirements, and day-to-day development creates the procurement work more difficult. So because of formalities and lengthy procedures, staff will become short. So procurement is done after market analysis, and in the absence of sufficient staff or a reliable market survey analysis of right quality at the right price is set up possible. All right. So if you don't have sufficient staff, a reliable market survey analysis at the right quality and at the right price, procurement will be impossible. So the procurement program also suffered due to non-availability of sufficient staff. Hence, it is suggested that the department should be adequately staffed according to size and number of procurement. So we look at the best practices in material management. What are the best practices? This one, I'm going to increase it at this level. So you use clear guidelines for material quality. self-explanatory. Use clear guidelines for material quality. Stay in control of material quality. Ensure that the purchasing employee is meticulous with their selection process. Having this company-wide requirement not only removes any ambiguity, but it also means that standard can continue to be made even when certain employees are absent. So use clear guidelines for material quality. Pick suppliers strategically. Not anybody comes, oh, we need this, you just go to any place. We need this, you just go to. What will happen? You are likely going to buy inferior quality of supplies. All right. So pick your supplies, let them have integrity. All right. Check the history of such suppliers to know their behavior. All right. The geographical location and everything, so that you don't end up, picking goods that are of low material that are of low quality. It will affect your production, and it will in turn affect your profit. It will also affect your customers, your consumers. So a potential partner's flexibility, we'll talk about when picking suppliers strategically, you look at their flexibility, look at their transparency, their communication skills are also traits that they may be determining factor in the selection process. So you look at are they transparent enough? Can they communicate their what, their values enough? Are they flexible? Those are the things you should consider. So have a dedicated material manager. It's important to have an individual of authority that oversees all the elements discussed so far. Have someone, a material manager. So having a designated employee for this work creates accountability. That is just that. Of course, if everybody is doing, who did this? Is this person who did this? And when something goes wrong, you will not be able to actually hold all of them together. So in having a dedicated material manager, you are sure of accountability when it comes to the process, when it comes to controlling, when it comes to, managing, when it comes to directing. Who gave the authority or the approval for this to be used? Oh, is this person. Who gave the approval for this material to be sold? Is this person. All right. So the essence of a dedicated material manager is for accountability, which means responsibilities are more likely to be fulfilled. Because I wouldn't want to be held responsible for a low quality product or production. So I will make sure that I do my best, because when anything goes wrong, I know the first point of call will be me. So it will create room for accountability. It will make me be on my toes. It will make me to guide people well. So having a vocal point also means that other employees have someone to contact if they are facing any material challenge. It's not the one that will be running from pillar to pole. Oh, who can give me this? Who is in charge of this? You have someone that they can run to. So the central figure will be able to put plans in place and put actions into motion. So their plan will also serve as a guidance for others to follow. And we also say have an ordered warehouse. It's very important. It's very important that the space in which your material resides have some sort of structure to its layout. Not only will this make it easier to find items, like we said before, when they are needed, but it also decreases the chances of damage occurring as there's less chaos. I've said this. When you have a proper warehouse or ordered warehouse, you'll be able to know where how to arrange the structure where you have goods, or you have perishable goods, you have fragile items, you have this, to be able to do that. So at a glance, at ease, the items or the materials you are looking for, is easily accessible. And so any warehouses or factories you see, along with the machinery and workstations with them, should be organized tactically so that material can travel from one stage of the supply chain to the next as easily as possible. So we look at complete frequent reviews. Treating material management as a top priority for your business is a good start, along with using the best practices mentioned above. But simply putting these procedures in place is not just enough. It's not just enough for you to be in this class and get all these, you know this, you know this. When the exam comes today, you write and pass. But you need to also, practice them, put the best practice that we've discussed so far, put them to use, see how it goes. All right. So you should regularly review any processes related to materials to ensure they are still performing and so any decline or deviation from the original process means it's time to tweak or replace them. That's what it means. So use MRP, we've said this before, for this will make you to manage your material effectively, in form of system for monitoring the quantity, cost, location of materials in your possession. It's a software. Having this information is an easily accessible place provides for you with a great deal of clarity. Everybody is working. You know where these, how many do we have? How many of these particular raw materials do we have? How many have we produced? How many have been taken out? How many do you need to replace? At a glance. All right. Just key into the system and you have a result that you need. So, and we look at logistic information technology. This is a new topic entirely, like I said. So logistic information technology is what we are taking now. We'll look at this. So as we are going, we'll be following the the diagram. So we look at logistic information technology. What do we mean by this? So a huge advance in information technology has already taken place in all industries, including changes in the logistics. Remember, we took time to explain technology when it comes to logistics, management, inventory management in our last class. When we look at the globalization, you cannot do without technology, because like we said, that the world is a global, has turned to global markets now. You store from everywhere and manage, your resources and your production and everything at a glance. So supply chain, okay, we look at the fast data transfer. It's a result of information technology in supply chain management, resulting in increased cooperation. Imagine that you have technology all round at the production, at the supply. You are just keying in. You don't need to run around the conventional way of running around. What is being produced? What do we have on ground? You are seated somewhere. You are monitoring. You are controlling. You can control with your technology the use of your computer. All right, the use of your software. All right, your material management software, your logistic management software, your inventory management software. You are controlling. You know what stock you have. You know what inventory you have. You know what raw materials that you need to replace. You see all this as easy as possible with the use of information technology. So supply chain management is concerned with the flow of products, which we know, and information between supply chain members, organization, and all that. So recent developments in technologies enables the organization to avail information easily in their premises. And we look at the electronic commerce. What do we mean by electronic commerce? We are talking of electronic data interchange, email, electronic fund transfer, electronic publishing, image processing, electronic bulletin records, shared databases, and magnetic optical data, capture. So we look at the electronic data interchange, the EDI. We describe both the capability and practice of communicating information between two organizations electronically instead of the traditional form of mail, courier, and fax. How would someone stay Nigeria and be ordering or sending requisition to India for raw material without traveling? It's just the use of information technology. So the different role of it in logistics and supply chain and what we have just seen now, the electronic commerce, the electronic data exchange. And we are looking at the benefits of the quick process to information, better customer service, optimize paperwork, increase productivity, improve testing and cost efficiency. You don't need to travel everywhere. The different roles of it, and we are still looking at it. We are looking at, we see the barcoding and scanner, which we talked about in our last class. We are not dwelling on this. We dealt on this. We dwelt on this in our last class, talking about the barcoding and scanner. We talk about the SQU, DMI. We talk about the automatic identification and data capture technology and all that. So that. And in conclusion, we look at the effect of information technology in supply chain management. The effect of this, as we've seen before, how does it affect supply chain management? This can be mentioned as improving cooperation relationship in internal and external dimensions, increasing responsibility, creating new relationships with customers to identify their needs, developing. You go to like maybe these online stores, and before you just get to a particular site, already you have automated customer service agent or kind of that is waiting for you. Oh, how may I help you? Chat here. All those things. So the pressure to invest in technology is high and will increase, and it will still increase. This is because competitors will always invest in technology, the effectiveness of their supply chain and the global ways of doing it in order to achieve competition for everything. What can I do to stay afloat? What can I do to stay above my competitors? We are the two companies producing the same thing or offering the same services. How do I do so that people will patronize me faster or more? Where technology comes in. I know we use a holistic example of pizza using that you can order your pizza from home, and a rider, a dispatcher will bring it to you. And we compared it to maybe another brand of pizza production company that do not have this in place. What do you think will happen? They will have low sales. Why this one will fly everywhere? So that is just what so when it comes to information technology, supply chain management. And we look at the advantages and disadvantages of information technology. Advantages: improve communication, increase productivity, running through this, cost saving, access to information at the tip of your fingers, security risk that we're talking about disadvantages now. Even when we know that, it has advantage, but the security risk, scammers are there, the malwares are there, malicious software accessing and all that, especially when it comes to financial dealings. We've seen how people will just scam people. They say, oh, this is the company. They will just, dupe people. But when you trace, you see that it wasn't actually this. So the disadvantage is also that so many organizations or companies are also depending on technologies. So as technology becomes increasingly integrated into our daily life, it can lead to an over-reliance on technology and a lack of knowledge and skills, particularly among younger generation. Of course, they will just go, they just do this. Just type this, you see this. Just go here, you will see this and all that. So over-reliance is also it's a disadvantage, all right, when it comes to technology. So we look at the cost. Of course, if you want to deploy a very reliable and effective and efficient technology, it will cost you money. So that's one of the disadvantages. And the security issues, we talked about that, the cyber attacks, the data breaches, and other security threats and all that. Look at, okay, we've seen this already. That's a repetition there and all that. So, look at example, case study of Domino's Pizza. We said that we've used this case study even in our last class, even before now, we've used it. We've seen what technology can do. And for us to use this Domino's Pizza as case study, shows that they are actually advancing in their own technology and it's effective, and people are enjoying it, customers are enjoying it. All right. So And we look at the future of information. We are running future of information. The IT industry has a bright future with many jobs opportunities and career growth. So we look at the IT professionals, including network administrators, network engineers, security analysts, and all that. And all. So what we are talking about, one would ask, why do we bring all this as we are talking about Nigerian management? If you know how to, analyze security, if you know how to use a system, if you know how to use artificial intelligence, if you know how to analyze your data and all that, the machine learning, you'll be able to analyze everything, the processes at the twinkling of an eye. You've been able to come back, like when we talk about demand forecast, you just artificial intelligence will help you to know, oh, okay, the last 2 months, how many sales will we make? How many products were we able to produce? And that, okay, what do you think in the next month? So machine learning and artificial intelligence will be able to do that. So that's the future of information technology. So in addition, 3D printing and all that, we see that robotics and everywhere is coming out. So it's what it means here that as the material manager, you should also have these skills, make you stay afloat, stay at the top of your game. All right. And so in conclusion, we are looking at that information technology has revolutionized the way we communicate. It has affected everything about us. Everything about us. It has enabled us to become more effective, productive, and flexible. So it has also presented its own set of drawbacks, which we have, said earlier. The most common disadvantages include to cybersecurity, privacy protection, and job loss. Of course, job loss. Some people will go out of job because what would have 3 people would have done, one person can just see it, okay, this and analyze your data. So there won't be need for people to carry files around. Oh, go and check what is going on there. So there will be lots of jobs and all that. So we move on to logistic financial performance. All right. So financial performance is the achievement of the company's financial performance for a certain period, covering the collection and allocation of finance measured by capital adequacy, solvency, efficiency, and profitability. Self-explanatory. Financial performance. So a key part of successful logistics strategy involves the ability to measure logistics performance. After all, if you don't know how well what you're doing, or what you're doing is working, then you could be unwittingly investing in losing strategy in perpetuity. You keep losing strategy. What we do in perpetuity is that's no, you keep doing that. You keep doing that, losing investment, losing money, and all that. All right. So we look at this. Okay, this is how you measure it. Just a diagram to measure. Of course, we know that doing is always excellent and then poor. So that's the metrics for measuring that. So how do you measure logistics? As with other business components, one way to measure logistics success is with the use of key performance indicators, the KPI factor. So these KPIs or metrics should address the business logistics priorities around elements like cost, reliability, service level, environmental impact, and more. So KPIs can cover more than one of these areas simultaneously at the same time, but regardless, they are useful in establishing standards, not only to measure internally, but against others as well. Know about KPIs, the key performance indicators. All right, you look at the elements, like you look at your cost. Have you been running out of cost, or have you been losing money? Have you been making profit? How reliable is it? Are people actually seeing you as a reliable logistic provider? At the service level, your performances, your workers, your human resources, Are they doing well? The environmental impact, are they, the sustainability when we talk of the environment, are they doing well? Talking about your recycling and all that. And then, and more. So KPI would help you to, at the same time, be able to measure this. So look at human resources and logistics. Human resources and logistics, very important. So human resource logistics, the function of human resource logistics involves training and developing the human resources of an industrial enterprise. So human resources are used in all functional departments of an industry. We've said before that when we talk about material management, it's human. We're talking about human. The suppliers are human, the consumers are human, the government, when you say government, who are the government? The people that are controlling, that are giving policies, they're human and all that. So this is where the human resource comes in. It is used in all functional departments of an industrial enterprise that deal with the production and handling of commercial goods. So human resource and logistics are two essential components of any successful organization. The management of these resources is crucial for the smooth functioning of the company. And then we look at that they involve the management of people. When you talk of human resources, the management of people from hiring and training to performance evaluation and retention. So when you talk of logistics, on the other hand, it deals with the management of physical resources that are required to run the organization, including transportation, storage, and distribution. So an effective human resources strategy is necessary for any organization to succeed rather. So the hiring process should be designed to attract the best talent. And even as you're attracting the best talent, the training programs are also important to ensure that the employees are continually equipped with the skills and the knowledge for the roles they play, so that they don't become obsolete. All right, like the skills you had 20 years ago, you think it will still work today? You need to improve on it. It's still working, but you improve on it. Keep equipping, equipping employees with the skills and all that. So in logistics and in human resources, in every aspect of logistics, a successful, a strong human resource management. So a formal classification of human resource management can be distinguished between all these administrative functions, planning related functions, informational and statistical functions, financial functions, legal functions like determining human resource requirements, recruiting human resources, placing human resources are very crucial. So we talk of human resource management practice in logistics, how you practice in logistics industry. It's a knowledge-based recruitment. That is why you are in this class. Because anybody cannot just go and assume a position of material manager or inventory manager or logistic manager. No, it's a knowledge-based recruitment. It's training and development. It's motivation. So the knowledge-based view of the firm has said that organizational performance is derived from the firm knowledge-related resources and capabilities.
还是需要提高的就是
这个体系还是比较哎，扫出来阿尔法雷斯做支点，再
Please mute. Someone is talking. So from the knowledge-based perspective, a firm capability is dependent on its employees. All right. So you can't just say, oh, this particular logistic company is very knowledgeable. In terms of what? Are you not talking about the employee, the human resource? So HRM is a management approach that focuses, we've said that before. At this point, like I said, I will increase it. So knowledge-based HRM practices are based on traditional HRM practice, but take a fundamental different approach. So knowledge-based HRM practices focus on filling the organizational knowledge gaps rather than its open position. You don't just fill in the gap. Oh, there's a position. Oh, we need people. Knowledge base. So the proactive development of employee competence rather than performance monitoring. Employees competence rather than performance monitoring, and the provision of compensation for KM, that's when I say KM, knowledge-based management, enhancing activity rather than merely meeting short-term financial goals. All right? Are we following? Are we following?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. Please give me 1 second. Let me take a sip of water. So knowledge-based recruiting offers an innovative approach that suits companies operating in the current knowledge economy. Much better than the traditional recruiting and selection practices. So first in today's knowledge, intensive workplace professional services, logistics, and trade. Tasks are often unique and non-repetitive. They are unique because the person you meet, the consumer or the customer you meet today might be different from the ones that are coming tomorrow. Take note of, take into consideration we're talking about the cultural, the social, and the other ones we're talking about, So all these things, they are often unique and not repetitive. It's what works yesterday might not work today. So, and the accomplishment requires multi-skilled employees and cross-functional collaborations. All right. So the complex tax structure is even more evident in logistics sector as a whole. That is it. Because in logistics, take for example, can you compare the delivery of, let me say the performance of DHL to maybe our local dispatch riders? Just put in, just have that comparison. Or you have maybe another logistic company that maybe goes to only African countries. You can't compare to DHL that goes everywhere. All right. So it is when you talk of professionalism and you talk of skill, you talk of technology, it is evident in logistics sector. Where you are not able to track your goods, that you'll be worried, no information, no communication, or that you'll be only relying on phone calls. Oh, please, I sent my goods 3 weeks ago. I just want to know where it is. It's frustrating. But you must have the technology on ground, the technologists also on ground, people that can operate it, people that are skilled in on technology, and you need to deploy these softwares that will make your client, your customer, your consumer, your user to sit at the comfort of wherever he or she is, to be able to, key in and see what is happening, to see the process, to see the movement of the goods. So it's evident in logistics sector. All right. That is why we are here. So overcoming HR challenges in the logistic company industry. We look at, that we've seen that the logistic industry plays a vital role in the economy worldwide. Gone are the days, even in our local setting, all right, within Nigeria or within Lagos or within like the state that you are right now, you see the dispatchers that are doing great jobs. That even some people who will sit at the comfort of their home and food will be delivered to them. All right. You're not talking of, what can I let me just go to market. I don't have Maggi, I don't have salt, I'm just taking this as a simpler, example and all that. And you can imagine what logistic industries are doing. A lot of things when it comes to transportation of food and materials and other things. see the way they are doing, and it's pumping money into the economy. All right. So we look at the retention of when we talk of human resource management, we talk of the retention of workers. You are the one that you bring the workers today. You are not taking. There's no incentive. There's no motivation and all that, and they're leaving. You will have gap in the process. In what you're doing, and it will show. When you should have two people attending to customers that are working, or you are having just the person. Okay, take for example, away from logistics. Look, take for example in banking industry. Like you get to a bank, you see like so many, maybe the cashiers, that you have like the like 5 cubicles of where cashiers are supposed to stay, and you're having just 2 people, and you have queue of customers queuing for financial transaction complaints and all that. How will you feel? It will be frustrating. So retention of workers is also challenging when it comes to logistics. So to rise from this, the company can consider giving incentives to the workers to motivate the existing ones and those who want to supply. That is just that. In as much as we are not saying that you should also, keep the ones that are not actually performing well. So working in the logistic industry is considered not worthwhile. Why? Some people view truck driving, for instance, as a job that needs a lot of sacrifices, of course we know, including being away from families and friends for such a long time. Yet paycheck does not reflect an appreciation for such sacrifice and effort. So people are not aware of the logistics industry opportunities. For instance, over the road truck driving jobs are available. How many people would just sit? Okay, not just people. How many of the drivers would just want to enter and say, there's a truck driving vacancy or jobs or whatever, and people will just go. And then, so people that understand this, when you talk about the logistic moguls, mogul rather, not moguls, they know this. They know the labors that they have to pay attention to. Like we said, in truck driving, there are a lot of sacrifices and all that. And when you motivate them, they will stay. So the HR department should consider rebranding to establish career path by introducing promotion from warehouse workers to maybe managers and all that, motivation. So poor communication also, I've mentioned this before. Poor communication, you are calling on a particular customer care, and the phone will ring for like from now to tomorrow, nobody responds to you. You look for alternatives. All right. So this is what the HR in logistics industry should look into. So falling out of compliance, the logistics industry must adhere to several government regulations, including the employment and remuneration processes. So a lot of paperwork is necessary to ensure that such records are kept regularly. So adopting technology in the HR department will help a great deal. It does that. Company's culture, most workers would like to work in a company with a culture aligning with their values. They opt to check on a company's culture first before applying. Of course, it's necessary because no one wants to be stopped in one place. So the safety of workers is very important. The safety of workers is an essential factor in the logistics industry. So considering that most of the drivers are older men, most unity may not be as strong as the younger ones. So as a sector mainly relies on people. If the drivers are not fit health-wise, the effect is twofold. Businesses will be affected if drivers cannot work. If you cannot deliver on time, your business will be affected. So companies should ensure that the drivers are well taken care of in terms of their health and safety. They should be provided with the protective gear, required. In as much as not just the drivers here, but we are using, drivers as examples. So unfavorable work schedules. This one, we know what this means. All of us are in it and all that. Inadequate training. If you don't train your employees, they will be obsolete. The skill, like I said, the skills they came in with, what the knowledge they came in with, become obsolete over time. All right. And then the efficiency and the effectiveness of the logistic, company or the management or whatever will be obsolete too. And as such, it will affect your customers, your consumers too. So this has to be taken into consideration and all that. So we look at that we should choose the right HR management strategy. Choose the right HR management strategy. Incentives and all that is also there. So the three general categories, result-based strategy, what employees for meeting API. When they meet, you see, in this, I've seen that, like you go to Domino Pizza, you go to Cold Stone ice cream. I think there's a way you always, this is the best, the most productive or the efficient staff of the week. It motivates and it comes with an incentive, maybe cash reward and all that. So a strategy which rewards people on basis of behavior rather than outcome. All right. Remember, in leadership, we talk about that is your character and your charisma that we are looking at now. Forget all the skills, all the qualifications. Oh, yes, I've been this, I've been trained in logistic management. If your character and your charisma is not, concurrent with what you're doing, you might fall out. So you reward people on basis of good character, not just the outcome. All right. A development focused strategy rewards employees for actively pursuing their own skill development. When people go to school, or like as you are in this training now, you paid for this training. I don't know, maybe individually or they pay for a few people that are paid, from by their company. If you are paid this and you want to, because you want to have improvement in your performance, in your company, and you are pursuing your new own skill, you are developing yourself. By the time you return to your job, to your company with the certification, you should be appreciated, you should be rewarded, you should be motivated. So whichever strategy is chosen, personal development and performance-based presentation will need to be based on clearly defined goals and metrics. All right. So keeping the logistic workforce on track to ensure your logistic workforce HR strategy executes successfully. Coding steps which are omitted surprises, must be planned and put into. So the implementation of performance metrics, which you said, secure management and workforce buy-in, and look at the steps outlined above can help your HR team stay impact in a successful supply chain. So by applying an HR management strategy to incentivize and engage logistics teams, your company can maintain an edge over its competitors. Of course, many of whom become increasingly reliant on IT as a supply chain panacea. So when you do this, when your HR management is intact, when the strategy is intact, you will see that it is the labor force, the human resources that will actually keep they will protect your image. All right. And as such, you maintain an edge over your competitors. But if you slack, you see not just some people will say it's soldier come, soldier go. Before you know it, your best labor, when I say your best labor, your best employee, would be seen in other companies, and they will take the skill, they will take the experience, they will even carry the small strategies that you have, and you go, and before you know, your competitors are all over, and you'll be diminishing. All right. So this is why HR management has to be at the top notch, must be at the top notch. Considering the factors that we discussed above, and not considering bringing everybody, make sure that everybody is comfortable, everybody is motivated to work. All right, and that is where you have your logistics strategies in place, and you record successes, and in return, which is most important, you satisfy your consumers, your customers, and you would also record huge profitability. So, any questions so far? Any question? Any question? Hello? Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Let me check my chat room. Yes, I can hear you. Speak up, please.
Yes. Sorry, I went to pray, so I missed some. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay,
Yes, I said sorry. I went to pray, so I missed some.
okay. Please,
Yes, I
anyone that's
stopped.
been following, yeah, the people that have been following, any question or any contribution? Okay, so where there's no question and any contribution, please, the management.
Yes, Madam Messi, I'm here.
Okay, all right. The class is supposed to end by 7, and this is 7, and today we were supposed to take 3 topics and all that, and we are done with 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. So we have another slide, and this one that everybody is quiet. I don't know if they just joined the class and then just joined and went for their other activities. No one is responding. I wanted to just end the class here. So next week we start from another topic we have. That's the transport management. So are we good to end it here?
Madam Messi, thank you so much. I want you to put it to the participants if it is comfortable with them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. The participants are actually listening. So do we take one more topic that will take us like 20 to 30 minutes? Just 20 to 30 minutes.
I don't think for me, I want to because I have some other engagements for me.
Okay. And it's just one person that is speaking now. What about the others? Okay, no for me. Okay, 2 people have spoken. All right, so we call it a day and see you in the next class. Thank you so much for having me, the management. Thank you so much. So, see you.
Please,
Thank
can
you.
we get the recording?
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Messi. Thank you. Wonderful facilitator. That was wonderful. I appreciate you, the management. We appreciate you so much. We are really appreciate you. And I saw a question and someone said I think that was from Dr. Julie. Dr. Julie, you said if we could get the slides, right? Dr. Julie?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Concerning the slides, I am aware that you didn't get that of last week. So
Yes.
sorry about that. We are going to combine both of them. That of last week and this week, we'll combine both of them within the week. I think today is Saturday. From now till Tuesday, you'll get them. Thank you. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Thank you, sir.
And sir, we
Okay.
didn't get that of the first week too.
Okay, all right, all right. Is it pharmacist or Dr. Idore Inakpan?
It's pharmacist Dorian, yes.
Okay, all right, all right. You are from Akwa Ibom? We are also from Akwa Ibom. It's nice to know you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
All right. Good evening. You are going to get all of them from now till Tuesday at most. Okay, sorry about that. Maybe it was an oversight.
All right.
We appreciate all of you, all of our participants. It is because of you that we are able to do this. From the management and all of us, we want to wish you a lovely night rest and a blessed week ahead. See you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye, sir.